Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, October the 20th, 2023. Friday, October the 20th. Well, we've got some filler things going on now. And I'm beginning to believe all the comments from Comment Corner saying, look, good stuff's not going to happen until November sweeps. And we got another, goodness, what, 10 days? 11 days, but in soap opera days, probably 8 days. And then look, what interruptions are we going to have? But anyway, let's get into that blah, blah, blah. Well, Spencer ends up at the hospital. Kevin has brought Esme and Ace. He got a text from the pediatrician saying that Ace was slotted in for an appointment. And he rushes there saying, look, I would have brought you had I been given some kind of heads up that Ace had an appointment. And Esme said, the pediatrician office just called this morning. There was a cancellation, so they offered the slot to Ace. Kevin was nice enough to say he'd bring us. What's the big deal? Besides, I thought you'd be spending time with Trina, and I wouldn't want to interrupt that. I was like, oh, see? Under her breath, she kind of down talked it. I wouldn't want to interrupt that. Oh, okay. No, you don't want to interrupt that. And no, Spencer, you don't need to be there. But my question is this. Spencer has been back for probably 3 days from being in New York with Trina. Soap opera land, maybe now this is a week. Because it's been a week since we no. They got back this past Monday. But soap opera land has been a week, but it really hasn't been. Ace had a doctor's appointment last Friday where the doctor said he was in the 90th percentile. Don't y'all remember? Portia stopped her and was talking to her, and Esme told Portia, how many pediatrician checkups does Ace need, and Ace is not sick? My goodness, right? How many well baby checks does he need? Because that baby was well last Friday, last I checked. So anyway, Spencer, he says, after you insisting we have a parenting class where they talked about communication, I guess, and so she goes, Spencer, it's not a big deal, right? It's not a big deal. So the nurse, says it's Ace's turn, and Spencer goes to he picks up the diaper bag or starts to pick it up. And Esme reaches over and Esme says, I got this, Spencer. And she's taking it from his hand and he starts to, like he's going to go. She goes, no, I prefer to speak to his pediatrician alone. Takes her baby and goes to the, behind the nurse to the pediatrician's office. Spencer looks at Kevin and says, what was that about? And Kevin says, it looks to me like Esme is usurping her parental rights, which she can do. And Spencer says, but no, we have an agreement that I would be, I think he told her that I would be at all Spencer's checkups. Come on now. Why? And she goes, it's not necessary for you to be at all of them. And it really is not. So good, Esme. But what she's also doing is she's trying to show, I got what you really want. And because you went away, I'm going to show you who's in control of that. Who's boss, right? So you see, she went nowhere with trying to rent a room from Carly above Kelly's, right? That went by the wayside, right? Esme, Laura could barely walk through the door, and you shoving that kid in her hands because you're so exhausted, sleep deprivation, and everything else, right? But you want to move on your own with your child. I don't think so. But Kevin, being the psychiatrist that he is, he's observing this whole interactions and he's watching it. And he told Spencer pretty much the same thing Trina told him. Spencer, you are not his father, period. And he goes, Esme is settling into her motherhood role. At some point, she is going to, want to strike out on her own with her child. And that is going to diminish the amount of access to Ace that you have now. And Spencer's not, oh, he's not hearing it. He ain't liking it. Everything. Spencer is being ridiculous. And Trina's going to end up stepping back from Spencer behind this. Really. Because he has nothing else to do in his life. Nothing. No job, no business interests, no entrepreneur spirit, no nothing. Who is Spencer Cassadine? If you really, really have to look at him, he has to be going on 21 this year because last year they weren't old enough to drink. It's got to be 21 this year. 20, really 20, but so far 21. Who is he? And honestly, everybody, what is he interested in? I have no clue. None. You knew Cameron loved soccer. Jocelyn, I don't know, but she's really diving into the books. They're showing her doing that. So she's, really pursuing her field of medical. Trina love art, love it. What is Spencer? Love, like? Can't say money, just money. No. Where are his ambitions and goals? He doesn't have any. So he's latching on the fact that he's this baby boy's big brother, like it's a badge of honor. We'll see. He needs to get a life. He really does. I mean, and some self-interest, some interest on his own. So now we have Robert running into Killamilla at the, the little exercise yoga place. And he's like, you mean you're not sitting around for your, waiting on your important, clutching your cell phone, waiting on your most important client's phone call? See, and I don't like that. Don't talk about her clients, Robert. She's an attorney, high powered, high paid, way above your pay grade attorney, right? And you try to make it like a bad thing that she's got a client that's been paying her well for years. Stop it. When you bend the law, break the law, do whatever to the law when Holly Sutton is around. So don't even, right? And so he was telling her, how could you afford to be here this time? And she goes, for one, out of the two of us, I'm the only one who owns her own business and controls my time. She said, what would the taxpayers say if this public official here is spending 3 hours trying to exercise or press some weights or do whatever? What would they say? See, me, I control my time. And he didn't have nothing to say about that, right? So then Robert was saying, he really wanted him and Diane to just pick up where they left off. And she said, that'll never happen, ever. And he looked, she said, because I was used as a pawn in Holly Sutton's game. I was disrespected. I was actually treated very badly, Robert, by you. And she says, I will never, ever go back to that, ever, or pick up from that, ever. She said, here's the thing, I do. But she goes, every time I think, you know what, he's intelligent, he's charming, she's saying all these good things about Robert. And he's kind of under smiling. She goes, I get slapped in the face with someone from your past. She should have said one of your ex-wives. She should have said that, right? And then there I am, right back into afterthought. She says, never, no, I won't do that again. She said, but what I will do, we can wipe the slate clean. We're going to start all over again. This gives you the opportunity, district attorney, to pull out all the stops. See, place your pieces on this board right. Make the right moves. She said, because if you don't, not only will I remove my pieces from the board, I'm going to take the whole board with me and you will not get another chance. And she looked at him. She said, it's your move. And walked out. And I was like, good for you, Diane. Do not accept that from that old man. Do not. You know? Because I'm telling you, it's not like it was Max. Max is much younger, probably rocking your world in the sack, right? That ain't him. That ain't Robert. No. But you guys click, and I like that. Because, you know, once we get older, we really want somebody that we click with, that we genuinely just have a good time, just conversating over drinks or over tea, over ice cream, over coffee, right? And just enjoy each other's company. But Robert's got to treat her right because Diane's going to treat him right. So anyway, they're going to be a couple, but and actually I like the way they're doing it. They're not rushing them as a couple. They don't have to rush it as a couple. They will eventually get there or not, right? Eventually or not. So then we have Laura. Charlotte, Valentine pulls her out of school early and she goes, Grandma, you're back. And she goes, yes, I am, honey. Yes, I am. And they hug each other. And she goes, how have you been? I want to get caught up. And Valentine is like, you know what? I'm going to let you girls get caught up. He picks up some papers off of that table and he books. And as he's walking out the door, Charlotte's looking at him. And Laura caught the look on her face. And she said, Charlotte, honey, are you worried about your dad? And she goes, oh, I think Papa might be worried about me. And so Laura says, all parents worry about their children, Charlotte. She goes, no, something's up. Papa does not pull me out of school early. And grandmother, you have been gone a long time. And I really missed you and I want to see you. She goes, but I could have seen you tonight after school. Right? And so Laura says, no, look, let me clear something up. Papa didn't just, Valentine didn't just want to come pick you up from school. I made a special request. Because Charlotte, I missed you. And I'm sorry I was away so long. And she told her, she says, and you know what? I'm gonna have to return to my mayoral duties real soon. And I wanted to spend this time with you. So Charlotte was like, oh, okay. So Laura's trying to roundabout talk to her, feel her out and say, tell her what's going on. I think she even brought up, how does she like this house? And Charlotte kind of flashed back to when she was spying and heard Valentine told Anna, I bought this house for us, right? And Charlotte goes, Papa bought it for me and him, just us. It's all right. I like it. But see, now that her bubble has been burst, she heard him, what he said to Anna. She knows he didn't. So that whole, this is my dream come true, you don't see that on her. And then she was telling Laura how You know, it's been hard for her coming back after being gone so long. Her friends are all doing other things. And, you know, they just have different things in common. And she has no friends. And I thought, you have no friends? What? And so Laura says, well, wait a minute. Valentine says you're friends with Jake Weber. Or she said, Elizabeth said you and Jake Weber are friends. So she goes, oh yeah, Jake is fine. We are friends, but Jake's a boy. I don't have any girls who are my friend. I was thinking, I didn't know that you had any to begin with, right? So Laura says, you a lot like me. And she starts telling her about her childhood, how she felt alone. She didn't have a lot of friends. She made bad choices. And her mother, Leslie Lou, she didn't say her name, but her mother, Leslie Lou, really helped her and really worked with her and guided her. And I was thinking, wasn't Laura always kind of, and I'm getting into trouble, but not getting into heart issue troubles, she was naive and she really didn't want to listen. She really didn't. So anyway, she's feeling Charlotte out. She is seeing Charlotte's having issues and she's trying to tread lightly, but my whole thing is her and Laura and Valentine are missing the boat. Kevin should be involved. If Laura and Valentine don't want Kevin to talk to Charlotte in a professional capacity, they need to be still consulting with Kevin so Kevin can guide them in the right way to address and talk to Charlotte and what to say and give them a referral, right? Don't be, Laura, we'll figure this out, telling Valentine that. I'm like, no, you got a husband who does very well in his career. Talk to your husband about your granddaughter. Let's try that for a change, right? So then we have, let's see. Oh, yikes. Judge Kim got heated because Alexis says, remember yesterday it ended with her saying, you don't know him, but yet you flew on his private jet for a fishing vacation. And she goes, by the way, did you claim that on your taxes? Yikes. And any other gifts you have been accepting from very influential people? And he goes, I agreed to be interviewed regarding, discussing some of my decisions, monumental decisions. And you brought me in here under false pretenses. Oh, then he talks about, yeah, Alexis, I remember you, Miss Davis from the courthouse, and you were, you had unsavory tactics then. And she's just looking at him. And she goes, you still have them now. And she says, look, you can reverse your decision on the Drew Kane case to time served, or I'm going to publish anything I want. She said, because you came in here and you said you agreed that all of this was on the record. And she goes, and believe me, because she said I could pull up dates. She would just have all deep dive into him. And he's looking. She goes, and I could write whatever I want and bring out all this information. Or if you do adjudicate Drew Kane's sentence, this article, the information will never see the light of day. And he goes, you brought me in here to blackmail me. I will not be blackmailed. And Alexis, do you see the way she's sitting there with her hands crossed? She's just looking at him, stoic. Go ahead, counselor, stoic, right? Gregory says, listen, Judge, listen. I do like the way they did tag team. He goes, look, we still haven't heard an official denial. Just deny it. It's not, if this is not, just deny it. And this whole thing is dropped. And the judge says, I will not stay for this. And he storms out of there. As soon as he leaves, Alexis start beating herself up. I pushed him too hard. I this, I that. And Gregory's like, no, you were brilliant. He had never really seen her in action. He goes, you handled him perfectly, Alexis. No, no, I can't, I have to remember he was not under oath. This was not, in a court of law. I'm just a editor. And he goes, no, no, you went in and you applied the pressure you needed to. I was too hard on him. He goes, look, there's nothing to say that a softer approach would have got any different a result at all. He says, I think you were perfect because you let that judge know that you meant business. And she's like, oh goodness, how could I? So she's sitting there beating herself up. Her phone rings and she picks it up. And all of a sudden you hear her say, thank you for letting me know. And she looks at Gregory. She goes, that was my friend in the federal building, federal office. And he says, or they say, that Judge Kim just had his clerk pull the Drew Kane file because he's looking at adjudicating. Ooh. And Gregory says, I told you you were perfect. So we shall see. Look, because Alexis told him, you are aspiring for some high positions. And this could derail you. Yes, so let's hope it's going to happen that fast. And I do believe it is because Cyrus is out, right? Elizabeth came to be his nurse, check his vitals, and talk to him. And the guard came in and told him, look, your release papers are being signed now. We're going to be taking you back to Pentonville very soon. And so he's talking to Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is like, look, I can make it so that you need some more tests tomorrow. So I can keep you out of jail for at least a day. And Drew's like, Elizabeth, it's inevitable. Don't do that. I don't want you falsifying. She goes, no, falsifying. I can have some more tests run, right? He goes, no. It is what it is. And so he wanted an update on all the kids, and she gave it to him. And one little thing we found out, guess what? Little Aiden is an entrepreneur now. He has his own website. He wants to go to the top culinary school in culinary, I think, pastry school in Paris. And he wants to pay for it himself. And he has already started saving up because his business is making money. Things that can be shipped are shipped. People that are local, he delivers. Those of cupcakes and cakes on his bicycle. Little Aiden is something else. Look, I would really like for him to be a little mogul. I really, really would. Started working, cooking, baking since he was 5. Come on now. And Franco encouraged that. Franco was a good influence on those boys. But anyway, that was nice to hear. And so he goes, really? He goes, hey, I could put in a word at Carly. No, she goes, I was telling him to go see Carly at Kelly's. Maybe Carly will carry his line. And so I was gonna say Ryan. Drew said, I will put in a good word with Carly. And she goes, he'll be so pleased. Watch. Carly's gonna start carrying Aiden's little line, whatever it's gonna be called, and people gonna be coming far and wide for those products. That would be nice to see. That would really, really be nice. I would love to see that. That's too cute. So anyway, she goes, oh my God, let me call Carly and tell her they're about to take you. And he goes, no. I don't want you to call Carly. I do not want Carly to see me hauled off in chains. I don't want her to see that. I would rather, yes, she'll be upset, but I'd rather she find out after I'm already gone. I know. So Elizabeth honored his wishes, and Carly will be upset, but when they showed him being at his feet chained and all the way up to the wrist chain. Now look, when Cyrus had his heart attack and was taken back, he wasn't that chained, right? They got Drew like he's the Incredible Hulk, could burst through, right? Come on now. So anyway, Elizabeth is looking at him, and then she walks over to the elevator and she's looking at him as he's being backed in, and he's just looking at her, and she's like, take care, my friend. Take care. And he's just looking at her like, hey, it is what it is. I hated to see him go, especially look, Judge Kim hopefully is about to overturn this decision. Because see, I really want Drew to get out, because I think Drew's going to end up being a thorn in Cyrus's side. I think somehow Cyrus and Drew are not done. They aren't. And Drew is never going to be on Cyrus's side. Period. If he got to pick one mob boss over the other, he's picking Sonny. He's gonna pick Sonny, because let's be real. Drew was not Jason, but Drew still remembers when he thought he was Jason. He has those memories. He remembers working for Sonny. He does. So we shall see how that goes. So let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. Oh, goodness gracious. We have so many comments I saw. I am going to turn on my trusty, dusty stopwatch. And here we go. And I'm going to start from the top down this time, because I think I was bottom up last time. Stephanie says, who is the boss of Paul Tuck? So sick of the storyline. Cyrus Renault. We found out Cyrus is the boss of Paul Tuck. Stephanie says, regarding Diane and Robert, they still have a shot. Robert needs to prioritize his relationships with her and be open with Diane about his support of Anna and Holly. Diane can choose to understand or not, but Robert can do both. Can't do both if Diane is in the know. Well, he can. He can support Anna to a degree. I mean, come on now. Diane's not heartless. He's just saying, look, we in the middle of a conversation, and what you say, oh, Anna is here, and jump right up. No, none of that. None of that. And then Stephanie says, I love Alexis in lawyer mode. Me too. Boy, do I miss that. Laura cracked the code in a few minutes, realizing Victor's responsible for Charlotte's crazy. Spencer needs a reality check and will spiral once Nicholas buys Spoon Island back and takes control of all the money. That's right. Watch, because Alexis has it up for sale. It's going to be some anonymous buyer, and it is going to be Nicholas. Nicholas is going to buy that property back and be occupying it, and Spencer will have to ring the doorbell. Trina will have to move on, at least until Spencer grows up, whenever that may be. Until then, she can focus on her family, friends, and education and career. I hope they bring someone on for her, but don't put her on the back burner. Trina also may get kidnapped with this Cyrus Wu mess. And now with Cyrus being loose, he and Wu could hook up and bring Sonny down. Yeah, Selena would, because she's sick of Sonny. Port Charles will have to band together to take these two down. If Trina gets kidnapped, it will redirect Spencer to Trina for a short while, and the breakup will be put on hold. And Linda says, I believe Diane was telling Robert was he has one more chance with her, and to not blow it this time. Diane needs to understand why Robert did what he did with Anna because Anna thought she had lost all of her pictures in her family, uh, of her family, and that Robert saved the day for Anna. If Diane and Robert don't work out, then Robert and Anna should hook up. Um, but I would love to see Sonny and Anna together just to rattle Robert's nerves. Robert and Anna will never be together again. I mean, that was a very, yes, that's Robert's father. Get that. My dog is bugging me. He wants me to walk him. Um, but Anna has been with so many other people and never once back with Robert. Another worldly says Sonny simply has too much going on to turn off his phone. That's right. And you were exactly right about that. Judge Kim doesn't look Asian as the actor who was on the bench. Yeah, I see a little bit of it there. Anna and Ava, is this an indication that the previous writers have the lead of the series again? Our dramatic characters have changed into less than Carly's in comparison. Less than Carly in comparison. I do kind of think we're seeing a shift back into the old writers. There's just something about I'm sensing it with you. Baroness, Baroness, when you were mocking Baroness, when you were mocking Felicia, I was wondering if we could stand hearing Felicia, her and Fran, who is Fran Drescher talking? I don't know. Lisa says Sonny will be there for his children's mothers and friends. You're right. Carly doesn't call just to say, how's your day going? The last time he ignored her call, he was arrested, but he ignored that on purpose because he knew he was going to be arrested. Blaze knows if she just let her life be out there, but always has the press watching, she was hinting to have a relationship out of the eye of the press. Yes, she was. They may get together privately. Nina needs to fess up the truth because it is in the open now, thanks to Martin. Lisa says the job of deputy mayor hasn't been filled. She was talking about having Taggart fill the position. I don't recall which spot he filled. He didn't fill no position. Jordan was talking about Taggart filling in as chief of police, and that never came about, thank goodness, because we don't see that man enough to be honored with that position. And she was acting deputy mayor, so yes, the real job has not been filled, but I don't know. I think Jordan should go back to the police department. I'd rather see her in that capacity. Anna is scared of what is happening. Valentine's keeping it from her. That is just wrong. He should have spoke to her about Charlotte when she finds out Valentine knew, she won't forgive him. And I forgot to mention that, everybody. Valentine met her at the Metro Court and was pretty much trying to push her into she needs to spend more time with her friends. Felicia Mack, she goes, no, I don't want to bring whoever's after me. See, she's still thinking it's this big thing. Whoever's after me, I do not want to bring trouble to Maxie's doorstep, Felicia and Max's doorstep. No, I can't. Because she's just saying she's going stir crazy, pretty much just staying at that hotel. Because he goes, have you been down here in the dining room all day? She goes, yeah, it's better than being upstairs in the four walls. She's like, look, at least I can see people come and go. I got no. And I understand exactly what she's saying, but get a life, Anna. Go do some exercise. Lisa says Spencer is looking past what Esme did to all of the kids in town. Spencer wants to be a part of Ace's everyday life, putting him to bed with Esme. Laura has blinders on when it comes to Charlotte. Why hasn't he looked in Charlotte's room at those tarot cards? They are with that letter. I know if he went through her stuff, he'd see the letter. Lisa says Spencer is so worried that Nicholas uh may want to come back and raise his son Ace. What does Spencer think he will do? He will do to be Ace's guardian. He is blind to Esme wanting to keep playing house with him. He needs to step back and let Esme raise her child. If he truly loves Trina, he would focus on the relationship with her. And Lucy says Ace needs a paternity test. I 100% agree. I am says Sonny definitely cannot miss calls. The old Ava Jerome is back and Austin is going to pay. Everyone will know Austin lied to help Cyrus get released. Cyrus will kill Mason. Ava will get blamed. No, not for killing Mason, but I do believe Mason will come up dead. People think Sonny arranged it. Blaze is taking the deception gig. It keeps her in Port Charles. IM says time for a DNA test to falsify Ace's paternity. Yes, of course she'll do that. And she'll say the paternity will be at Spencer's, even though the timing won't match. And Spencer won't care. He will gladly take ownership of that, even though he knows date-wise it won't match. IM says Esme is using emotional blackmail, even though really that paternity test could show he's not a Cassadine at all. But see, we don't know. Esme's full of stuff, right? Full of tricks. Esme is using emotional blackmail to pay Spencer back for taking, that's right, the weekend with Trina, just as he is using it against Trina. Spencer needs therapy to deal with his abandonment issues. He needs to talk more honestly to Kevin, don't you think? Cassia, wait, no. Casey says, hi, Daily Recap Lady. John R. York is Mac. Oh, Mac. Thank you. Thank you so much. And yes, please, please let him get a bone marrow transplant. Is Mac. Hope the bone marrow transplant is successful for John. Keep him in our prayers. Exactly. Absolutely. Let's keep him in our prayers, everybody. Leanne says, I think Trina has to understand that even though her and Spencer have been intimate, her and Spencer's relationship still has many problems. It may not even last. She is talking about a 5-year plan, I know. And he doesn't even know where he's going to be in 5 days, never mind 5 years. But like I said, Spencer has no real direction. Truth is, Spencer will lose Trina because of his obsession with Ace that he claims is because he doesn't want Ace to feel abandoned. Eventually, Trina will have to wake up like Spencer will and realize the relationship like the one they have just can't work under these circumstances. And Deborah says, Drew is on his way back to prison. I hope nothing happens. Me too. Oh my goodness. P. Merle says, Esme, Ace, and Spencer. Trina reminds me of Carly, Michael, and Jason. Robin back in the day. Bottom line, Spencer needs a direction. He's focused on everyone except himself. That spoiled, entitled, rich boy lifestyle will get old for Trina pretty fast. Love is not always enough to sustain a relationship. Sabrina says, hi, Daily Recap Lady. Trina showed so much maturity about Spencer fixated on Ace and showed so much immaturity and stupidity regarding Esme. I think that the new writers are going to leave their storylines for the old writers where they left off, except for a couple of positive things, confirmations that they are in love with each other. Spencer was shocked when Trina asked him about his 5-year plan. He has none. Look, I don't know what I'm gonna be doing in 5 years. I'm kidding. Spencer was, I think he was going to take over Cassadine Industries, knowing his father is going to fight for it. But to fight for it, he would have to appear in person at some point. Just a thought. No, he is. Nicholas, like you said, he told Austin, I got to go get a bunch of things tied up before I come back to Port Charles. I got to get all my ducks in a row. He's going to make it so that when he comes back, he serves no time for imprisoning Esme. I am says, I agree they are recycling storylines. Nicholas did the same thing to Taggart's sister Gia. She quickly went from love of his life to a nuisance. Um, I am says, I agree as well. Do you think the old writers are back and the new writers are still there and don't know what storylines had been done before? You know what? I don't know. But I know this transition is going to be ugly for us. Anyway, goodness gracious, because those new writers they were getting the job done. Kudos to you, new writers. Good luck on your new jobs. Anyway, everybody, that is it for my daily recap of General Hospital. I will be back next week. And you know what? Next week is going to be another snoozer going into November. So I will see you next week.